point out, and that's why this is, I mean, a bit tricky for me to decide now. So I would prefer, for instance, to have even a non-synchronous vote, because we can always do it. But the thing is I would like to know more in depth the discussion about and concerns about what, for instance, the new proposals, yours, Florian, for instance, is and are, and also MAB concerns, because as far as I mean, you know already my position. My position is pretty much clear. Unless we can always remove the SecGen, and I mean, the board appointed, the board remove it, there is no problem, in my opinion, because I don't, generally speaking, I don't want to over bureaucratization, bureaucratize and over,
Bureaucratize.
yeah, bureaucratize the organization. We don't need another chair empty, let's say, or almost empty, no matter of MAP or backup or whatever, right? So if we need a position, the position has to be effective. Otherwise, it's another empty chair. Thank you.
Mm. Um, I just need to come on. There we go.
Yeah, Sarah?
Yeah, thank you. For reference and for transparency, all the discussions that were, or I've linked to the original document, the original draft document, where it's possible to read every single comment that was made about the original draft, including Mob's thoughts on the text. I recommend taking a look at this first, and if you can't find all the comments, please ask and I'll help you. I think everything else I've tried to share as transparently as possible, but I do agree with Alessandro that it feels like this is something that needs some time. I've said what I wanted to say there. Go ahead, Florian, and please continue.
Yeah, thank you. So I understand the need to not make a big mess out of the position. Like, we want the people to be able to act. At the same time, it doesn't mean agreeing to everything the person wants and like just closing eyes and washing our hands of everything. The second point I want to say is that, yeah, okay, we need time to discuss, but we've had a lot of time to discuss this way before we approved it. And then after we approved it, we even reconfirmed it during a board meeting. So this is me just airing out my frustration about the issue, because everything was laid out plainly. And now we are slowly coming onto the wall of the deadline. We need a decision to be taken in order to advance properly. So my feeling is that the last minute proposal and suggestion I sent to this meeting balances the two approaches. I even gave a bit more details about what it is in the board chat. I can repeat it orally here so it's clear for everyone. But basically, we are giving the Secretary General all of the powers the boards have. And in the document, in the proposal number 1, it says that reporting on the usage of these powers is mandatory. And then that the Secretary General should ideally coordinate and consult the boards before using the powers. So I just want to really underline that compared to the text you suddenly all disagree with, despite voting twice in favor of it, this is extremely less coercive. if that was your feeling. Yes, Sarah?
Um, I try not to let my feelings uh, decide my actions in a context like this. But this has to do with how I am used to and trained in handling um, problematic situations. Now, I've been involved in writing a lot of this, including doing rephrasing work with the previous one. And I am honestly quite angry. And I mean, it was me, Florian, and Mob who worked on this. And we all put a lot of effort into it. And now this has come up on very short notice, and we have all had to deal with it. I have had to um, skip my weekend plans entirely in order to sit 4 hours to go through this and explain what we are dealing with, what the problem is, and to try and make it easier to move forward on this. I would also prefer that we could move forward. Um, there are so many reasons why this is problematic. It can the signal it sends is not good. Going back on a decision that's been made by the board is not good. It makes the board look weak. It makes people look unprofessional. And it makes it look like we're giving in to pressure, neither of which is good. Now, I still think we should try and manage this reasonably. And I think everyone involved needs to um, take a look at what the issue is and give their input. All right, that's all I wanted to say. Um, thank you. I'm going to be quiet for a while.
Yeah, Alessandro, you can react, and then I think we can take a few more comments, especially from the persons who didn't speak yet. But then I will close the matter, and we will have to choose a path forward. Alessandro, please.
Yeah, thank you. The thing is, Sarah, that you're right, 100%. I'm with you. The thing is that sometimes we shouldn't care to look unprofessional if we are unprofessional. I think that we're not 100% unprofessional. I'm here, I mean, I don't know, this is the 6th year in a row, and I don't think I always have been unprofessional during this 6 year. But I think that in this situation, I wasn't professional because, for instance, I bought something that I was 100% sure that had no issue with in it. So I did it without professionalism. And so now I have to pay the consequences. The bad news is that I think that I'm not the only one. So I think that collectively there is nothing. It's better to say, "Hey, we made a mistake. Yes, we look unprofessional because we, in this occasion, we were unprofessional, but we're doing this on a voluntary basis and for the better, not for us, right? Sometimes our egos should step aside, and we should prioritize the organization uh, instead of our beautiful faces. So I agree that time is over. So uh, I change my mind. We can vote it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro. Millie and Lily, I would encourage you to share your thoughts on the matter, but it's very, very well possible that you didn't have time to review it properly. So yeah, I'm encouraging you, but don't feel pressured. It's completely fine. I'm just leaving out a few seconds so you can make up your mind, or else I will suggest how we can move forward now.
Yeah, I just made up my mind a little bit. I think I don't really see the point yet, but I think the topic has long been on our agenda, and I'm completely fine to make a decision today. And I think I can deal with both ways, how we deal with it, and but I don't feel, yeah, professional enough yet, as I'm new on the board, to form my own opinion on that case.
Thank you. And yes, understandable.
If I may, I actually haven't had a chance to read through the messages today because I've been at work since the early morning. So I honestly don't know what has been discussed on the Mattermost. And at the same time, I feel like I'm missing a little bit of the broader context. I obviously know what is happening, but I just don't have that much of information actually in this whole situation. So yeah, I don't really have a strong opinion on this case, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay, thank you. It's very clear and understandable as well. So my proposal now is to go with approval voting. I will air out my proposition, and then Sarah, I will let you speak. So the proposal is to use approval voting on 3 different proposals, okay? And the one with the most votes will be the one we adopt. The first proposal is to keep the original text, which is subject to the debates. The second proposal is to adopt an amended version, which is a bit lighter and which is my proposal, and I think solves the problem. And the third proposal, which is from Sarah, is to take a bit more time and to agree, well, first to discuss a bit of the problem so everyone understands, and then to post the text to be voted on discourse by Wednesday. So these are the 3 options, and we can cast our vote on each of them how we see fit. This is approval voting. Sarah, what do you think? You are muted, Sarah, still.
Sorry. That's probably for the best anyway. So I think I think it's a perfectly good way to vote. I want to avoid having this happen again, where we are again contacted by Mob and he says that he's not happy with the proposal, and we have to do this again.
So if I can simply comment quickly on that, he may communicate his thoughts as he sees fit, and then we can act on them as we see fit as well. This case is very specific and painful because indeed he will be a good candidate for the position, but at the same time, I don't fully agree with what his concerns are. Deep down, and that's the subject of my proposal number 2, I think I'm able to see, although I disagree with the arguments he has, I can see why we should try and be a bit more trusting. But the whole point of managing anything is to plan for the worst. So it's like we can't always hope for people to be good. But yeah, that's not the point. I would invite you all to now cast your votes on all of the proposals. So you can cast one vote on each proposal, and the one with the most votes will be approved. And this is starting from line 140.
So the first, Florian, the first proposal is the one we approved already
Yes.
in discourse, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I was about to fix that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, okay.
You're muted, Florian, if you're speaking.
Yeah. So okay. So proposal 3 has the most support, so we will have to do something by Wednesday, the 7th. On to the next point, which is about opening the position for our applications. There is a proposed timeline. The sensitive points, specifically because of what we decided right before, is the windows for applications. To note that the next board meeting is on the 25th. It was planned to take a first decision at that point about the recruitment itself. And the following board meeting is planned to be on the 29th of June. And that's a bit too late for the IGF. So we can always decide outside of board meetings, that's fine. But then what windows for applications do we want? Alessandro?
I would simply say that if we have to take a decision within May the 7th, as we just decide, we can have the application window straight after, just from May the 8th until May the 19th. We don't need.
So I will have to precise a bit of technicalities here, but what we voted on is to open a vote on a new version on the 7th. And a vote can go up to 1 week, especially if not all votes are cast. If all votes are cast, it will be closed as soon as all of them are in. But yeah, having a text posted on Wednesday, what we decided now, doesn't mean that it will be adopted on the 7th. And it's hard to open applications when the content of your application is not agreed on. Do you follow me?
Yes, so in this case, the window should be opened from May the 14th until May the 19th.
So that's 5 days to do all the communications and publications and pushing.
It could be even 3 days. It's up to us.
I think that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's awful is my feeling, but yes, Sarah?
Okay, I would actually suggest that we open up for candidates between May 14th and May, the last day of May, so whatever that is, 31st, May 30th, actually. I know that is going to make the rest of the process pretty tight. But the biggest challenge is that first step of communicating the position out to the parties. When we get candidates, the shortlisting is a relatively quick process. Speaking with candidates is also a relatively quick process. What matters there is just finding the time. And it will mean that we probably have to do set up a decision to be made in between meetings, or have an extra meeting. It will be tight, but I mean, in terms of getting this done before the IGF. But this is a much more realistic timeline.
Yeah, so I took the liberty of amending things a little bit. And Lily, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question about additional information. The application process for the candidates. What, in fact, do they have to do? Do they have to write a letter? Do they have to write an email? Do they have to prepare a motivational essay or something like that? What do they have to do in these 10 days?
So the way it's phrased, it will be up to the persons we appoint as the recruitment committee to decide on that. But it will be a fair assumption that they should communicate a CV and a short motivation essay by email, or something quite similar.
Yeah, a cover letter would be enough. That's one half to 1 page. Or motivational letter.
Does this answer your question?
Yes, it does. Just as someone said, 3 days are a little bit short, but I think if we have to have 3 days, it can be managed. That was my question.
Yeah, okay. But the way I rephrase the proposal in the pads is to have the candidacies to be sent between the 14th and the 31st, as was discussed previously. And then the following week, so the first week of June, you have the interviews. And during the second week of June, we should take a decision. Yeah, Alessandro?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, but I really don't know why we have to have 15 days to have probably 1 or 2 candidates for a position that everyone that can be involved and interested into this position should already know by weeks.
Allow me to answer, because I'm currently doing a lot of applications. It's fairly easy. You need to find time to write something. So having 1 or 2 weekends is a good way to ensure that some people can take the time to write something. And if not for these reasons, we have to publish this on the website. We have to push this on the socials. And as a volunteering organizations, I will not be doing this tonight, for example. So I might want to be able to have a few days to publish it.
No, sorry. You will be, I mean, sorry, I'm not getting it. The thing here is to have 14 days 2 weeks for collecting candidates
Yes.
instead of, for instance, 5. So I'm not understanding why we cannot have 5 days, because the starting date is the same. The problem is the end date. So you will have more time if the end date is before the proposed end dates to do whatever you want. And if you want to spread the word, you will have exactly the same time because the starting date is not changed. So we are acting like we were, I don't know, PW's open for 1 month. It changed everything for us to send information away. It takes the same time because the starting date is exactly May the 14th. So what I don't really, I'm not getting it. So my proposal is, why can't we have at least, if
I raised my hand just so you guys know.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I want just to finish to speak, and then I will shut, or unless chair would like me to shut.
Please go ahead and conclude,
Thank
please.
you. So we don't need to move this process forward longer. We can just start at 14th, and if you don't like 3 days, we can have 5 days or a week, and nothing will change our original schedule. Thank you.
Sarah?
Since I have some experience with recruiting in a pirate context more than once, I want to emphasize that it does tend to take people some time to respond. Now, this may just be the case in the Swedish Pirate Party, but when I put out information about looking for people, it had to go out twice before we started getting responses. And even when we got those responses, people would take several days to respond. In fact, even though we had over a month as a time limit, we still had people who contacted us several weeks later and said, "Oh, I didn't have time to apply, but now I did. So here's my application." This is not a matter of attitude. This is how things have worked in this movement when we've tried to recruit people in the past. I think that if we post something and the deadline is 3 days, I don't think we're going to get anyone. Either that, or we're going to put an unreasonable burden on the person who has to be responsible for this. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thank you. So Alessandro, if you want, you can copy paste the proposal and modify it to your liking. So then we will have 2 proposals to vote on, because I'm not 100% sure of what your IG is. But we are running out of time, so okay. So any more comments?
Yes, sorry. Do we need also to select Mr. X and Mr. Y and Mr. Z in the proposal?
No, yeah, indeed we do. Yeah. So who would like to be part of this? It's a bit hard to appoint the persons who are not here, so I suppose it has among us here.
I can say right now that I will not be able to help with this.
I,
This
I
is
will be I will
yeah.
be able to help with this.
Okay, so Alessandro.
I can try and help, just basically for the reason that I've been a part of recruitment in my own work. But I need to say that my timetables are a bit tight because of my work. So it really depends on whether you want me to be present or not. But I can give some opinion and stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much. The experience would be quite great to have, and the interviews are only one of the parts of it. So yeah, if you can't attend all of them, it should be fine, I think.
As I was in the local politics, also involved in recruiting. I think I can help too, but I would appreciate if someone is with us who has some experience in recruiting in the pirate context.
Yeah, okay. So I will put all three of your names in. And of course, Sarah, who has a little bit of experience in the Paris context. And of course, me, I will be available as well. We will be here to help along the way.
Yep. So I'm not refusing to help here because I'm just being flippant. I really don't think I'll have the time. I've recently had a little very sudden, very bad family issue come up, and that in combination with me starting a new job may mean that I will not be able to commit to, or that I might have to change plans at the last minute. I would not be able to do a good job, and I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
but
Totally
if like
understandable.
you want to contact me with questions and stuff, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead, Lily, but it's like 5 seconds.
No, Sarah already answered the question. If we can refer to her with questions, that was my question.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. So please go ahead and vote, starting from line 175 on what your choice is for this proposal. Line 175. Thank you. So Millie, it's line 175. You can take a few more seconds, but moving on to the next point. It's been a project or like an idea of mine for a little bit of time, but to send out a form to gather input from stakeholders, members, delegates, and so on, about how PPEU could help provide value to them and help them out. So the idea here is to formally approve the diffusal, like the sending out this form. I sent the link on the Mattermost because yeah, I wouldn't want to have unwanted answers before it's approved. But the idea is to simply try and have people say what they expect of PPEU, and it will be sent over the mailing lists. No, I'm not posting the link in the minutes, but you have the link in the Mattermost.
Yeah, but for the records, we are voting something that is not visible to anyone. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but it's visible to you, the persons who vote.
Okay.
And once it's done, it will be sent out
How
to
about
everyone.
posting this? How about I post this link in the chat? In
I mean,
here in
I mean, it's sent on YouTube, but why not have it here?
I was wondering why we cannot include in the. It says like at some point, if somebody is reading the minutes, it would say, "We're voting this," and there is nothing, and then
Yeah, but you can include it afterwards. But I don't, because the meeting is public. It's public. I don't want everyone to be able to click on it and answer to the form before maybe you gave back input on how the wording could be improved. For example.
but if that's the point, we can have a PDF version and upload somewhere. I mean, not. Sorry. I mean, sorry. Okay. No. Yeah, I got the problem.
Any other comments? Any ideas to share?
I've had a look at this already.
Yep.
And I provided some feedback on the first draft, the first time it was, or when you'd finished it. And I think it's perfectly fine. There's always something that can be improved. And for a form like this, perfect is the enemy of the good. It's better to have something that's good enough here.
Thank you, and thank you again for your help. Okay, so we can go ahead and vote on line 183. On whether you approve or not of this form to be sent out. Thank you. The next point is about sending out a complaint to the Code of Conduct Council. So you have a PDF that you can access through the link in the minutes. It relates to the previous board meetings etiquette and netiquette points on the behavior of certain pirates towards others. You can have a bit of time to read through because it was a late addition, and we can discuss it. Yes, Lily?
I would like to add something. We asked the Code of Conduct Council, this is on the first page, to investigate the case and determine whether this is a private conflict or whether it's a case of systematic harassment. And I think we should also add whether it's, whether the individual speaks for the pirate party Greece or for just itself. I think this is the core point.
Yeah, I understand the concern. Maybe it's this distinction is included in the consideration of whether it's a private or non-private thing. But Sarah, maybe you want to share about this? You're muted, Sarah.
Sorry. Well, I wrote the first draft of this, and my intention was to include that meaning in the text that reads whether it's a private or a non-private matter. But I actually think that your wording is very clear, Lily. So I see no reason to not add it. I think we can definitely put it in. But maybe we can add it to the point at the bottom, because there's one part of this document that is a summary, and then there is the main body of the letter, and all the way at the bottom there's a request for what we want the Code of Conduct Council to do. I think we can add it there. Go ahead, Florian. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you. So we are at the 1 hour mark. So technically the meeting is ending, but if we want, we can decide to push a bit further collectively. So do you want guys to conclude now, or should we continue? Alessandro, you go first, yeah?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that maybe you can, but I cannot. I have to leave the meeting straight right now because of I have a family situation I have to handle, and I cannot postpone it. So thank you very much for being here with me, and see you next time. And I wrote everything there, so thanks.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks
coming.
thanks for giving us your votes. Good luck with the family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sarah, if you want, do you want to speak first, Sarah, or?
No, I've said what I wanted to say, so you can
Yeah,
go
okay.
for it.
Lily, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to propose that I can move my point 4.1 to our next meeting. That will be no problem, I think. Just to shorten our meeting now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm trying to check the duration of the meetings, because if we have to agree, like if the agreement to continue has to be unanimous, then with Alessandro leaving, we can't continue. Sarah? You are still muted, Sarah.
Sorry. I think there's not much left. We can probably finish this in less than 10 minutes. I know that's still over, but I think it might actually take longer to vote for it than what it will take to finish the rest of the meeting.
Well, given that we take decisions outside of board meetings, and that I'm a bit unsure of what extending the meeting by consensus means, I think I will close the meeting. Yeah, because with Alessandro leaving, if it's just us, we can have a consensus, but with him leaving, that's not a consensus. So yeah. Okay, so meeting is closed, and we were at point 2.4. So 1934. That's 1734 UTC. And then a disclaimer.